The topic is Secularism and Bangladesh, written on December 6, 2013. Bangladesh is marching on a path to secularism, even though history has shown that secularism is destined to fail in a religious landscape such as Bangladesh. Secularism was never the reason we fought to separate from Pakistan. Secularism will bring harm to the objective of free Bangladesh, for which army revolted, soldiers of EPR, police, Ansar, public fought and liberated Bangladesh from the Pakistan army, which started on March 25, 1971. With a sudden attack by Pakistani army on Bengali civilians, we had no safe shelter inside Bangladesh. India surrounds Bangladesh on three sides, sharing a boundary of 2,429 miles. Bangladesh's remaining southern border is open to the Bay of Bengal of Indian Ocean. Burma has a few miles of common border on the southeast. Lahore Resolution and Partition of India. Lala Lajpat Roy, one of the first leaders in India's struggle for independence from British Raj, believed Hinduism over nationalism. In the November-December of 1924 issue of The Tribune, he wrote, "The Punjab should be partitioned into two provinces. The western Punjab, with a large Muslim population, should be governed as a Muslim province. The eastern Punjab, with a large Hindu population and minority Sikh population, should be governed as non-Muslim province." He also proposed similar division for the Bengal. When the British left India, the Muslims of India did not want to be a permanent minority population. Muslims and Hindus have vastly different beliefs, dress, language, customs, and origins. The two groups rarely intermarry. Their customs are generally exclusionary to the other group. Even their culinary habits are very different. Lahore Resolution called for the creation of independent states for the Muslims of British India. The constituent units of these states were to be autonomous and sovereign. The resolution was presented by Mr. A.K. Fazlul Haq, the Chief Minister of Undivided Bengal, in 1940. Deviation from the commitments of Lahore Resolution. In 1958, Pakistan's second president and the first military dictator, Ayub Khan, suspended the constitution and imposed martial law. East Bengal was renamed by East Pakistan against the wishes of Bengali people. Mujib objected and formed Shadhin Bangla Biplobi Parishad with the students to fight against Ayub's regime, and the work done in contrary to the Lahore Resolution of 1940, where autonomy and sovereignty were the key words for the federating units. All this dissatisfaction has culminated since the partition of India. The original federating units of Pakistan were supposed to be autonomous and sovereign. East Bengal had its name changed. The state language was declared Urdu, even though the vast majority of inhabitants spoke Bengali. The national capital was located in West Pakistan. High government positions were given to the non-Bengalis. Police service, defense force were predominantly made up of Urdu-speaking West Pakistanis. Permits for new industries were issued from Pakistan 1200 miles away. Especially infuriating was the issue of profits from export products produced by Bangladesh or East Pakistan. Locally produced products were sold at a higher price to offset cost of products for West Pakistan. Example are Karnatali paper products, paper mill products. The result became apparent when East Pakistani people wanted to solve these issues by democratic process. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman produced a 6-point series of demand to all opposition parties meeting at Lahore in 1966. Even though these demands made little headway, Bengalis of East Pakistan managed to finally elect parliament representatives in 1970. Election of December 7, 1970. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's party won the majority vote in Pakistan National Assembly of 1970. Yahya Khan, the army ruler, refused to transfer the power to the elected representatives and continued martial law over the election. In the general election held on 7 December 1970, the Awami League under the leadership of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman won a massive majority of the Pakistan National Assembly. At that time, neither Mujibur Rahman nor the Awami League explicitly advocated for political independence of East Pakistan. So far, all the disagreement and agreements were within the Lahore resolution. Yahya Khan, the army ruler, and Mr. Bhutto, the newly elected second majority popular leader of the National Assembly of Pakistan, came to Dhaka to discuss the handover of power to the elected representatives. After 10 days of closed-door meeting, Yahya Khan quietly slipped off to West Pakistan and declared on 1st March 1971 that the country will remain under martial law until a suitable formula was found which will guarantee Pakistan's security. This was a blow to the integrity of Bengali people and their aspirations nourished before the 1970 election. All of Bangladesh was engulfed with rage, frustration, and anger. Now it appeared that Yahya Khan and Mr. Bhutto bluffed the people of Bangladesh. In order to buy time for air transport of additional Urdu-speaking Pakistani army soldiers to Bangladesh, public protest, meeting, street fire, blocking of traffic were in full swing. The people for the first time started to utter separation from Pakistan as an independent state of Bangladesh. After the agitating speech of Yahya Khan, many Bengali students openly revolted. On 2nd March 1971, university students declared East Pakistan to be an independent state of Bangladesh. The news spread like wildfire, and the people around the country started flying a new flag of independent Bangladesh. This was the first time that the students stepped ahead of the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's leadership. The shooting of a Bengali telephone repairman by an Urdu-speaking Pakistani soldier was a catalyst. The incidents happened before the historic 7th March meeting of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. On March 7, 1971, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman delivered a fiery speech indicating Bengalis were going to take care of themselves. I was among the audience at the speech. When Bengali leaders won the majority in the National Assembly of Pakistan, Urdu-speaking soldiers opened fire on the Bengali civilians on 25th March 1971. The Bengali civilians were massacred at Dhaka Farm Gate Mirpur Asad Gate, Aulad Hussain Market, observed by the author, Fulbaria Station, Shadar Ghat, Lal Bagh, Rajar Bagh, Pilkhana, Engineering Hostel, which were all recorded from the start. The Bengal Regiment of Pakistan Army refused to cooperate a few days before the massacres. The Bengal Regiment was ordered to return to Pakistan by a ship, which would have rendered them useless to defend the civilians during massacres. They refused. I returned my home in Dhaka Manipuripara suburb on March 25, 1971 via Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's house. There were rumors that some Bengali army officer informed Sheikh Mujibur Rahman that the army was going to fan out and the people should move out of Manipuripara. I mentioned this reconnaissance to the various officials living in Manipuripara who were discussing the situation. They brushed me off by saying, these are our soldiers. Why would they shoot us? 8 hours later, a massacre of Bengali civilians were in full swing. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman never moved from his house. He was arrested by Pakistani army soldiers and flown out of Bangladesh. The next day, a black flag symbolizing the resistance movement was still flying at our house. The army ordered everyone back to work. I walked to the Geological Survey of Bangladesh office. No one knew what was happening and waited to hear Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. We did not know his arrest or extradition to Pakistan. Someone whispered Shadhin Bangla Betar radio was on the air. We were 4 assistant directors at the Geological Survey, went under a table with a small pocket radio to transfer a pocket transistor radio and heard a voice saying, I am Major Ziaur Rahman, on behalf of our great leader Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, declaring independent Bangladesh. We will fight to defeat the barbarous Pakistan army. If our neighbor has any humanity in her, she will come forward to help us to defeat the barbarous Pakistan army from our land. I ask all the nations of the world to come forward and help us in our struggle. Bangladesh Zindabad. As I remember, this was Ziaur Rahman's speech. This was a great moral booster and an inspiration for us. We heard the Bengal regiment deserted in the Pakistani army to aid Bengali resistance movement. Police office, including railway police and Ansar, formed resistance forces to counter the Pakistani army along the border. Available soldiers were fighting, other cantonment soldiers were deserting to join Bangladeshi forces. It was clear to us what we were fighting for when we fought for the liberation of Bangladesh. Our issues were economic exploitation, employment, business opportunities that were shifted to others unfairly, senior jobs in the civil service, foreign service, police, and other government agencies were preferentially given to non-Bengalis. Executive power was located in Pakistan without local input from Bangladeshis or Bengalis. Bengali money was used to feed, clothe, and arm the Pakistan army, which would betray and kill innocent Bengali civilians on 25th March 1971. This event crystallized the Bengali independence movement. Bangladesh was carved out of British India at the time of partition to solve the religious concern of Muslims. They believed that they would not have fair share of the land and its full economic development if their population were diluted into the Hindu majority of India. In order to have full freedom in the social and cultural development of our future generations, East Bengal was born. Bangladesh was born out of East Bengal in 1971 because of their socio-political issues with Pakistan. Bangladesh was not born out of a desire for secularism. My questions are the following. Has Bangladesh solved the issue of sharing the national wealth, job, economic benefits equitably in the last 42 years? When was the secularism promoted before our war of independence? Secularism is a sure path to destroy Bangladeshi nationalism. Why can't Bangladesh guarantee the rights of religious minorities, as was done by Mr. A.K. Fazlul Haq in the Lahore Resolution of 1940? Pursuing secularism for the sake of 10% minority, causing the 90% majority to suffer in their cultural, religious, and spiritual well-being is working backwards. Thank you. My name is Andy Haig, and I'm a Canadian citizen by naturalization. I lived in Canada since October 11, 1971. Thank you.